Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Capricorn in mid-April 2020. What is going on, Capricorn? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. All right, friends, welcome to mid-April. How is everything? How's everybody in your family and your friends circle? Hope everybody's safe and sane and happy and healthy, okay? For me, I'm going into week 7 of quarantine, social distancing, working from home. Hopefully you're coping as well as I am, because I'm only now in my 7th week starting to feel a little bit like, you know what, I'm kind of like done with this. Like, I would appreciate a little bit of normalcy back in my life, but I'm still able to run with it. So hopefully you're coping as well as I am, if not better, because I know a lot of people are really struggling in that regard, and they were struggling like 2 or 3 weeks ago, let alone the 7th week. I had a flip over here in the pre-shuffle, or in this opening shuffle, the Knight of Cups. Some of you could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You might be getting a message. Thank you. I was about to put that back without even interpreting it. You might be getting a message. As you can see, this Knight of Cups is delivering a piece of mail. So some of you might be waiting on a letter, particularly in the mail. Could be from a loved one, could be from an old friend, an old flame, could be from the good old government telling you what's going on with your stimulus check for those who are still waiting. Or, it just could be any type of message. But I feel as though communication in general is very important right now for you, Capricorn, or there's some type of communication that you're waiting with bated breath for, and it might be long overdue. Who knows? But let's see. Now, Capricorn, some of you might recognize, if you've been here before, that this little whole setup here is different. There are no cards on this table. Why is that, Jay? Well, Jay, because I'm asking questions to myself, I've been working with my guides lately, Capricorn, trying to continue my spiritual work and my spiritual growth and accelerating and up-leveling in terms of doing tarot and being an empathic reader. And one of the things that they've encouraged me to do is kind of read things a little bit more on the fly. If you're familiar with my previous setups, I normally will lay a spread and I'll read the story that comes out. This is more going to mimic what I do in my personal readings. For those who have worked with me before, you already know that. But this is going to be similar to that. It's still a general, but it's going to be sort of in the format that you would see if you get a personal from me. And that is that's just my personal work coming up to the forefront here. If you guys like it this way, that's totally cool. Let me know in the comments. But as of yet, I've really enjoyed the results because I'm getting even more intense readings or more intense energy that comes through by doing it this way. So that kind of, that's just something for me to stew on personally. But anyway, that's why there are no cards out. Regardless, though, we're going to go into it, our regular spiel. Capricorn, I've shuffled off camera. I will be putting a timestamp in the description box if you want to jump ahead. That's there for you, so you can get right to the start of the reading and skip over the rest of my babble. If you're going to stick with me, though, you will know that also down there is the information that you need to get a personal reading with me. If you want one, please reach out and let me know. I have to clarify with all signs because this has been coming up lately. I've been contacted by a few people who have said they want a reading, but then they say they don't want to pay for it, or they don't pony up the money, even though it's very clearly stated down there, if you want this, this is what you pay for. And it's not, uncommon. If you get a personal reading with just about any reader on YouTube or any reader on the internet or any tarot reader in real life, you're going to pay for it. This is a service, even though it's entertainment purposes for the most part. This is something that I just don't understand why it has to be explained. So for those who are curious, or for those who might misunderstand, if you contact me for a personal, please be prepared to pay for it. Okay. Also, the opposite has happened over the past 2 days. 2 or 3 days, I think. People have paid, but then they don't request what they want. They don't say what they need. And I'm not going to accept money just for the sake of it, because the intention is for this to be an exchange. I give you something, you give me something, right? That's energetic exchange. That's karmic exchange, right? So if you do want a reading and you pay for it, cool. If you do want a reading and you pay for it, but then you don't tell me what you don't want, or you don't tell me what you want, I'm kind of like, well, I don't know what to do. And if you do want something, but then you don't want to pay for it, well, then we're not going to be in business at all, period. So just to clarify that very, Well, I shouldn't say quickly. I obviously rambled on, but that's just to clarify for those who are a little bit confused. Other information down there is the Instagram account. The link is there below. I'm going to put the name right there so you can see it on screen in case you missed it. EmpathicFire Tarot. I'm pulling cards mostly every day over there, oracle cards, and interpreting them for you. So if you want extra content from me, just follow me on IG. That would be totally cool. And that is it, Capricorn. I promise you, we are starting. Let's do it. Please show me messages for Capricorn in mid-April 2020. General messages and energies for Capricorn in April 2020. Please show me. Ooh, do we even want a bridge? Sometimes I want a bridge. One bridge. Thank you. They're like one. Very specific. One. Okay. All right, there we go. General messages and energies for Capricorn in April. Mid-April, excuse me. Please show me. Mid-April. I wonder why my arm hurts. I did not exercise much at all this week, but my arm feels kind of weird. Like my tricep? My right tricep. Maybe some of you are dealing with some injuries or something. That fell down here, face down like that. Further messages for Capricorn. Okay. Okay. How's that going? Yes, okay. Is that right? Yeah, they want it that way. Okay, let's flip what came down. Ace of Wands reverse, Justice card, and the Knight of Wands. Hey, Capricorn. Maybe what you're waiting for in the mail is a decision. For those who are here in the pre-shuffle. Now, first card out, Capricorn, for you is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So, false starts, misleading information, misleading deeds or misdeeds. Bad action is what that feels like. That Ace of Wands in reverse. Bad action. Inauthentic action. Forged documents. Forged personalities. That's very interesting. Forged personalities. Something was fake. Is basically what I'm feeling here. Something was fake and you found out about it, or someone's finding out about it, and you're the perpetrator. You know, it is a general. I will address Capricorn as if it feels as though this is happening to you, but, you know, my friends, you know, it is a general. Always be open to this being you, but ultimately something was fake, false, erroneous, insecure, not stable, not right, and now it's over. Like that, like how I snap, boom, done. Yes, it's a whole exit strategy here, or a whole exit is happening here. I get the sense that in some of your cases, you had a business with someone, you had an agreement with someone, you had a contract with someone, it's null and void. It was, you know, the terms were awful, or now that the contract is over, somebody is set free. It's either the time, the terms of the contract have run out and it won't be renewed, or there's no way you're going back into that agreement, so bye-bye, or it wasn't properly notarized, it wasn't filed properly, you know, lawyers were shisty or not even full members of the bar, what have you, and there's just something wrong. If it isn't legal, because I mean, for those who are familiar with tarot, we have a big legal component coming up we're going to talk about in 2 seconds. But for those where this wasn't like a legal thing, this was simply bad deeds, bad action between you and another person, either you towards them or them towards you. And I forgot to show you this card in the upright for those who are not familiar with this deck, just so you can get a better look at the artwork. There you go. So that's what it looks like in the upright. But again, I'm still talking as if it was reversed. So some actions or behavior between you and another person could be mutual. Like I keep having to say between you and another person, it could be mutual. You did bad things, they did bad things. You said bad shit, they said bad shit. You know what I mean? And it just feels like, ugh, too much, too much. This is nasty. This is grimy. This is rude. This is inappropriate. All these things. And that's so interesting coming from the Ace of Wands, because the Ace of Wands is really supposed to be a creative energy. That's why. Ace of Wands in the upright position creates, it progresses, it moves forward, it gets things off the ground, it germinates, really, it populates. In the reverse, we take away from. It's restricted. It's taken back from. It's weeded away. It's curtailed. It's not going anywhere. And it acts in a very counterintuitive or counterproductive way. So I feel destructive energy. I feel dismissive energy. I feel energy that says, screw you. I'm going to get what's mine, and I'm going to burn this place down in my wake. I feel super destructive energy here. This could be personal attacks. This could be physical attacks. This could be attacks against your family, against your business, what have you. You or someone else has been in a mode to harm something or someone else, ultimately, is what that feels like. But quickly after that, or not even quickly after that, this has been going on for a while, years, months. This feels like this has been going on for a while in the what is my hand is doing this previous to now, in the past. This is not the present moment. The present moment is this, justice. Thank you. Major arcana for Libra. Some of you are dealing with a Libra, but you don't have to be. Present moment is justice. So for some of you, this is straight up like a dissolving of an agreement, a dissolving of a connection, the severing of ties with the justice card here. You've got this judge holding onto the gavel, about to bring that thing down on the desk. Bang, bang, case dismissed, right? And some of you, this is literally like legal. You're, okay. Excuse me. Considering everything that's going on in the world with quarantine and this pandemic that a lot of us are living under and having to cope with, there have been delays, right? Court date may have been scheduled in March. Lo and behold, nobody was going to court in March, and your date may have been postponed till later this year. Who knows? But regardless, in this current moment, it feels as though justice is coming in and righting the wrongs. Now, when you right a wrong, it doesn't necessarily mean one is a winner, one is a loser, or one gets all the glory and somebody gets, the mud. It doesn't feel like either side is really coming off scot-free or coming off with clean hands. This feels really, in many cases, not all, that there's blame on both sides. But one side versus the other is just a little less blameless. Like, it really feels like, if I'm honest, it really feels like it's because someone, let's say person A, whoever they are, you or the other person, whoever it is, person A was really rude, really diabolical, really just not a nice person, not a nice business partner, not a nice romantic partner, not a nice client, whatever it is, just terrible, okay? And they were going towards person B with that energy. Lots of bad behavior, lots of terrible communication, lots of rude comments, or again, like, pardon me, like really terrible actions, just the worst. And you confront someone, person B, with that energy, bombard them with that over, it might have been harassment. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. Harassment over and over and over and over and over again, right? Eventually, person B, unfortunately, stoops to that person's level and retaliates in the same way, right? So this is one of those cases, to throw a cliche on it, two wrongs are not making a right here. However, justice is going to come in and clean all this up. Now, that can be the police, that can be lawyers, that can be judges, or we're talking about karmic justice since this is a tarot reading. Take your pick on what's affecting you, any, all, or none of the above. It's up to you to decide. But this over and over again, inundated, harassment, constantly feeling pushed and prodded, constantly in disagreements, constantly in arguments, constantly in debates over who has possession of what, who has rights to this, who has rights to that. Just a whole rigmarole, a whole fucking shit show, honestly. And Capricorn, it feels like, this justice moment, I'm over here pinching between my eyes, pinching the bridge of my nose, which is not something I normally do. I'm not somebody who does that when they're distressed, but I'm mimicking, I guess. And it feels like that, like it's come to this point where it is nothing more than a burden to open up your eyes and wake up to another moment dealing with this person, dealing with this situation, dealing with the fallout, dealing with cleaning up the mess, right? whether it is personally on your shoulders or you're in concert with lawyers and consultants, or whether you're talking with new business partners, you're talking with financial advisors, you're talking with counselors, you're talking with whoever. It's just so exhausting. Let's be done with this. That's these two together. This is so too much. It's too much. It's too much. And we want to be done with this, right? Now, honestly, this energy is mixed. Some of you are not going to see a favorable outcome with this justice card. Some of you are not. Some of you not even if you're not the perpetrator, even if you are not person A, if you have become or come down to person A's level, you're just as culpable. You're just as responsible. You're just as guilty, so to speak. So again, let's just put an example on this. Let's just say this was a bad relationship. Just as an example, a toxic, terrible relationship where person A came along, you guys broke up or whatever happened in your relationship, and person A was like, I'm going to get vengeance, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, what's that song by, and I'm not saying this is that. What's that song? Isn't that a song by Carrie Underwood? And I slashed all tires and Maybe next time he'll think before he cheats. I'm not saying that's happening here, but I think that's what that song is. And she's talking about slashing tires and like tearing up his seat in his truck and destruction of property. An illegal act. You cannot do that if someone breaks your heart. If someone dumps you, if someone cheats on you, you're really not supposed to retaliate. Like that's kind of the idea of living in a lawful, civilized society. You don't do personal retaliation. So let's say person A did that, personally retaliated against you, whether you cheated on them or not, whether there was anything involved, whatever, it doesn't matter. So person A does the tire slashing. Person B is like, oh shit, my tires got slashed. Let me go ahead and throw rocks through that person's window and break all the windows in their house. You're both guilty now. You both have broken the law, right? Even if person B for the long time, let's say that was like months ago. Maybe it was more than that. Okay, here we go. That's more to the point. Slash your tires, went to your work, embarrassed you, drained the money out of your bank account, did all these things, called your mama, told your mom you're a piece of shit, blah, 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 harassed your mother, harassed your family, right? Knew that you were dating someone new, started stalking you online and harassing you there, da-da-da-da-da. Did like 10,000 things wrong. Person A. The moment you do one thing versus their 10,000 things, you both are guilty. Does that make sense? Even if you stayed above board up until yesterday, Capricorn, and then today is the first day that you actually retaliate, that is the moment you become just as guilty as this other person. Not to me, to justice, to the law, to the cosmic order. The moment you do that, you become equal to that person in a sense, or equally guilty, just as culpable. That's what this feels like. Now, not saying that you would not be motivated to do these things after years or months of being harassed and being, inundated with this person's bad behavior. I get it, but it does not take away the fact that it's illegal, or it's wrong, or it somehow doesn't fly in the face of justice. It doesn't equate, or excuse me, it doesn't balance out. Not equate. It doesn't balance out. You can't have two people saying, well, they did that to me and they're guilty. Well, which one of you did it? Oh, you both did bad things? Then you both are wrong. Does that make sense? Regardless of who or where this is going, because it's going to be different for everybody. You all have very specific storylines. The final aspect, or the final object? Wow. The final card, thank you, that's coming out in the beginning of your reading is this Knight of Wands, fire sign energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. Getting the hell out of Dodge. I don't know about you, but that Knight of Wands looks ready to go. You got that parachute on, the goggles on, got that bird out there, showing a demonstration. This is how you fly against the wind. Here we go. So it feels as though the exit plan or the exit from this situation is desperate, fiery, chomping at the bit, ready to go, ready to leave all of this behind. That's very quick. I don't think I need to say much about that. Like after months or years of dealing with this crap, of dealing with the heartache and the stress and the anger and the rage that this situation or this person has caused in your life, and they probably feel the same way. That's the thing. That's the ironic thing. I feel like both sides feel like the other one was really the party that was in the wrong, and you both are coming into this feeling like, well, I didn't do anything, or I did what I had to do. Like you're just thinking, you're justifying things to yourself, or you're justifying standing in front of a court or taking a Zoom meeting in this day and age. Currently, you might be taking, you might actually have your court date, but it's done over the internet. Maybe that's what that message is for. Maybe you're waiting for your court date to be scheduled to some virtual session so you can go and tell the court, here's why I did XYZ because they did ABC. And the judge is probably going to say, no, that's not how we do things. Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs do not make a right, Capricorn. You know that. But again, I'm kind of also feeling like, but after this long, Jay, what else was I to do? You know, especially if you've told a person, stop doing that. This is over between us. Or this business contract is now over. We're not renewing. We're not doing this. We're not going forward. And someone doesn't take no for an answer, or somebody doesn't accept the terms to the end of the relationship, to the end of the agreement, right? And so you keep telling them, please don't do this. Please don't say that. Stop, slandering my name. Stop coming by my house. Stop calling up my mom's house. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And it's a lot to ask of a person to stay on the high ground after so many months or years of trying to be on the high ground. I get it. But again, there's something here that's telling me the moment you come off that high ground, you kind of lose your argument in a way, especially if we're talking court, because justice is blind. Justice doesn't care about how long you've been suffering at somebody else's harassment. The moment you take that vengeance or take matters into your own hands, you become just as culpable as the other person. Oh man, Capricorn. What's going on? Okay, further messages for Capricorn, please. Regarding this situation, further insight and messages for Capricorn. All right. Six of Wands. Well, somebody wants to win. Further information. Okay. So Six of Wands, the Magician, and the Chariot. Somebody is out now. This is turning. This is turning. Somebody's out, and they're out in a big way. They're out and they're winning, or they're feeling like they've won in a big way. Right? Six of Wands, Magician, and the Chariot. Six of Wands, that's that victory. I mean, it's mimicking an award ceremony, something like the Oscars or something like that, where this woman is all dolled up and she looks fabulous, and she's thanking all the Academy. She's thanking her producers and her agents and all that good stuff, right? So that could be you. As much as I feel, I mean, look, it's probability. It's not even about tarot. It's probability. Some Capricorns are going to win. Some Capricorns are going to lose. Some are going to come out in a draw. If we're talking in legal terms, some of you walk away, no fines, no punishment, no jail time, no nothing. The other person, they're at fault. They're the guilty party. Other cases, it's you. You're the guilty party. Jail time, fines, whatever's going to come down on you. Others of you, it's like a 50-50 split. Well, this person owes you damages, but you owe them for, duress and personal stress and loss of wages or some shit like that, right? It can go any of those ways. Probability says. But ultimately, someone here, you or them, thank you, they're like you or them, is going to walk out feeling feeling free. Thank you. Feeling free, feeling victorious. Okay, thank you. That's more what this is about, feeling free. So for whoever's not going to jail, number one, that's this person. Some people in this situation, a good portion, maybe 10 to 20% of those that have legal situations pending or legal circumstances, legal cases that are in the air, 10 to 20% are going to see somebody go to jail, whether it be you or the other person. Hands down. Just somebody's going to lock up, okay? Now, for those who are not going to jail and or dealing with legal situations that have a jail component in it. The Six of Wands is like free from that. Free from the drama. Thank you. That's very specific, but they want me to point this out. Or this is the analogy that they put in my head. Free from the drama. So what is theater, or what are movies? Drama, right? And this presumably could be an actress. Any famous actress or actor, doesn't have to be a female. But any famous person who does a dramatic role, who does like some incredible dramatic acting, right? And they get awarded for it. They go through what they do is they portray someone on screen or on the stage who has gone through trials and tribulations, walked through a fire, and gotten a little bit burned, but they weren't damaged, they weren't killed, right? And they're awarded for it. That's what this feels like. So you are possibly being awarded for, or somehow set free from, some of the worst drama of your life, Capricorn. Some of you are walking away from a deep drama that you have lived with for months or years. This is not some newfangled shit. So for any Capricorn that is just dealing with drama over 2 weeks, this is probably not for you. This is probably for somebody who's been dealing with this shit for, I'm going to say, like, feels like 2 to 3 and upwards of like 10 or 12 years, maybe even 15, something like that. And that's a huge range. But like, that's how deep this goes. This is some deep, long fought thing you have with another person, where one of you walks away and you feel free of drama. That was a role I played. That was a portion of my life where I was the victim of this, or I was living in tyranny in a marriage. I was living with a business partner that was reckless, or I lost so much with this person. And now I'm being rewarded, quote unquote, rewarded. You're not getting, I mean, some of you might be getting severance, or not severance, but some of you might be getting alimony or some type of settlement payment. That was the word I wanted, settlement. Some of you might be rewarded in those ways, maybe. But more to the point, I feel you're being rewarded with your own freedom to walk away from that role, to walk away from that experience and start something new, right? And the aspect of playing or pretense or acting, that's not the purpose. I hope you understood what I was getting to when I was using that analogy. So someone gets to walk away, start anew, create something fresh, just like that batch of cookies on that cookie sheet with the magician. Okay? You get in the kitchen, you get in the bakery, and you bake up a new batch of something. You create something new. Magician, secondary major arcana for, excuse me, Gemini and Virgo. Some of you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Virgo, but you don't have to be. I just spilled so much water on myself. Ridiculous. Thank God you couldn't see me. Anyway, Capricorn. This is going to be difficult for you or someone else to actually wrangle, for you to master. This energy of the magician it's prosperous and it's positive, but it's also challenging, because I feel as though, you know, this woman has a determined look in her eye, and she has all the tools and the elements she needs, you know, with those different shaped cookies there, the pentacles, the swords, the cups, and the wands. She has all the elements there. But there's something about the quality of that area, or like, okay, thank you. For some of you, let's say it this way. I'm just going to use this as an example, but obviously it's not all of your stories. Let's say some of you are leaving a marriage where you've been with someone for 20 years, been married as the husband, as the wife for 20 years. You finally get your justice. You finally get the divorce finalized and settled, and you're set free, right? You can create whatever you want, but because you're out of practice of being a single person, not even just in the sense of dating, not even in the sense of making new friends or partnerships, all of it, this 20-year marriage where you were with someone almost 24/7, right? You were with someone, you created a home together, you created a family together, you created a business together, you created all these memories together, you created together with someone else. The magician creates on their own, and this is unfamiliar territory to some of you. This magician is like, how do I do that? How do I take care of myself? How do I fend for myself? How do I make money on my own? Like, I'm not saying this is your story, but it's still quite prevalent. If you were married 20 years ago or 30 years ago, you may have married into a situation where your partner did most of the earning. Your partner paid most of the bills. Your partner had control over, the finances in all shapes or facets. And you kind of were left in the dark of that information. You've never had to think about what it was like to file the taxes. They did it for you. You didn't have to worry about making mortgage payments and setting up 401ks. You worked a part-time job down at Macy's. Like, you see what I mean? So there's this adjustment that's happening, which I feel you're capable of doing, or whoever this is, they're capable of doing it, but it's unfamiliar, and that can be a little daunting. That can be a little scary, or that could be an unsuspected component. Like, going into this just to get free of the bullshit beforehand is where your attention was. Now to kind of acclimate to being on your own or being free of this situation, it's like one of those things. You never thought this moment would come, but the moment is here. And now that the moment is here, you're like, oh wait, okay, I need a second. I got to readjust myself. Because for so long, especially if you were dealing with someone that was incredibly toxic and abusive and terrible, you need that moment to readjust yourself. You need that moment to reacclimate to the world. If you were living with someone who was a tyrannical mess, who harassed you after you broke up, and that was 5 years ago. So for 5 years after being separated, they've still been like doing creepy shit in your life. It's like, now that they're gone, it's like you don't know how to be quote unquote normal just yet. You'll get there. This person will get there. It's just going to take a moment. It's very interesting. It's just going to take a moment. They let me know quickly. For some of you, July, because the Chariot card is here, and the Chariot is represented by, or is associated with, I should say, sign of Cancer, and Cancer season begins in July, or well, late June, July. So let's say it that way. Oh, please focus. Come on, don't be like that. There you go. So come the end of June or July, for some of you, maybe you're going to make a move. I mean, this woman looks like she's on a journey. Looks like she's got some bags in the back, even though it looks like a shopping trip. Maybe she left all her worldly possessions behind and she's going to start fresh, change her identity. And I mean, I'm being really facetious, but I hope it doesn't come to that point where you have to change your identity to escape a former life or a former partner. But that's what this feels like. It feels like someone is on the move, either physically or on the move spiritually and emotionally, getting away from what used to be, starting out absolutely fresh, clean slate, new outlook on life, new eyes with which to see the world with. And it's like these two are meeting, because if you look at the orientation, and both kind of represent new things, to me. Just like this whole, I've never baked these cookies before. I've never driven cross country before. Like, these two together, I think these are like two energetic points in yourself that are meeting, Capricorn. I don't necessarily think it's you meeting another person, or I mean, some of you might travel and see friends, or move to a new location and make new friends, whatever. Maybe. But I get the sense of this is like two energetic points within you that are meeting for the first time. This is ingenuity. This is creativity. This is evaluating the circumstances and finding a way to make things work, making lemonade out of lemons, right? Life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. Life hands you some cookie dough, you make cookies, right? This is almost the passion or the sheer willpower to get out of it, to get out of what you've been held back by, right? The Chariot seeks freedom. The Chariot seeks new horizons. The Chariot seeks its destiny. what it is meant to do, what it is guided to do for its highest good. That's what you're doing. You're putting those two together. Maybe in partnership with someone new, romantic or otherwise, business or otherwise, family, it doesn't matter. But mostly this has been the journey of Capricorn for the most part. Another person has been here or other people have been here. But ultimately, I think this is mostly a self-contained energy. And this has been a roller coaster. This has been a roller coaster. If you see, I've made two hills, or I've made two up and down. Go up the mountain, come down the mountain. Go up the mountain, come down the mountain. So you've had to climb and traverse some very scary terrain, some very trying terrain in order to come down the other side into the valley. All right, let's get you some oracle cards, Capricorn. Oracle card for Capricorn, please. If you hear the tapping, it's my hands going over the different decks because that's how I choose my decks with my guides. Oracle card for Capricorn, please. Dark Mirror. Interesting. The juxtaposition is very interesting because this deck, this Vanessa Tarot deck, is actually very light. It's kind of a light and fluffy deck. It doesn't really have that much dark imagery in it, lots of bright colors. And then the Dark Mirror deck is dark and shadowy, as you see. So let's see. Pardon me for clearing my throat so much. I have had coffee today. I have coffee once a week. Coffee tends to do that to my throat and my sinuses, so that's why I try to keep it to once a week. Oracle message for Capricorn in mid-April, please show me. Oracle card for Capricorn in mid-April, please show me. Good, thank you. Oracle card for Capricorn in mid-April, please show me. Obsession. Is that who you're dealing with? Is that an aspect of you? Let's find out. Card number 3, Obsession. Okay, Obsession. This particular tarot deck uses moon phases as part of the message. So this moon phase is the waxing crescent moon. There is nothing else that can replace my focus. All things led to one, and then they disappear into one. Until only that... Oh my God, let me start that again. All things led to one, and then they disappear into one, until only that one remains. We chase comets and mirrors and shadows. Sometimes we actually chase cars or myths. Obsession is a trick of our perception. Many become one, and that one bloats as to take everything else. It feels like it, and whatever it is, an idea, a person, an objective, flavors our life and gives meaning to it. As all the light through a lens, it converges on a single point, and that point goes ablaze under the greatest fire. But in truth, more than enacting our life, it numbs our attention to the rest. It makes us feel more awake by hiding the rest of the world under a cloud of slumber. Obsession is a drug. In small doses, it whips. Interesting. In small doses, it whips. In big doses, it kills. If we drown inside an obsession, we should close our eyes. We don't die in darkness. We just fall asleep. Then we wake up more naturally. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, interesting. 3, because remember I mentioned July, and it's mid-April or end of April, actually, when I'm recording this. So again, that might signal to 3 months from now. You might see some resolution here, or there might be some type of insight that's going on 3 months from now. But ultimately, obsession. This could have been about, you or someone else being obsessed in a situation, obsessed in a relationship, substance issues, because that was kind of there too, where it whips, but then it kills when it's a massive dose. Capricorn, you know better than I what that speaks about. I'm going to leave that up to your interpretation. Strictly go ahead and play that back if you need to. And obviously, a general reading is open to your interpretation. But I hope this information has been helpful to you, Capricorn. If so, please leave a like or a comment. Let me know how this resonated in your life. If you choose to share that information publicly, that's totally up to you. Feel free to share the video. Let other people know that you like my stuff. And of course, my friends, if you are not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Capricorn, I will be back soon doing your May messages, your mid-Mays, and all that good stuff. Yeah, and if you want a personal reading, that information is down below. IG link is down there as well. I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Bye.